Very good morning to all. So today we are going to see about the topic on database management system. So in the second unit, we'll have concepts like relational data model, ER diagrams, reduction to relational schema, extended ER features, atomic domains. So the first part of the second unit it deals with the database design, and the second part is deals with the normalization. So for this video, we are going to see about what is a meaning of entity relationship model. So first of all, we need to know what is the meaning of relational entity relationship model. Here we'll use two different entities to make a relation between those two entities. Will follow the entity relationship model. So the exact definition for entity relationship model is a model for identifying entities to be represented in the database and a representation of how those entities are related. Simply, it denotes how the two different entities are interrelated. For example, when we are going to take a student is a one entity and teacher is a another entity. So what is the relation? Teachers are subject to the student. So this is the ER. This is a simple example related with ER model. So here we'll have some of the design phases. So when you are going for design, or when you're going to develop any kind of application or a software, we follow some of the basic steps. The first one is a requirement analysis. So what is the requirement analysis? We need to understand what are all the data we are going to store in the database, and what is the application we are going to build with the help of, and what is the use of the data with the application, and what are all those operations that are frequently used by the system. And for collecting a requirement from a customer, we need a proper communication with a team of peoples and conceptual database design. So for this module, the ER model is used. So it is a high level model used in a database design. So by using of these, we can create a simple description of a data that matches with the requirement of users. So logical database design. So ER model is converted into relational database schema. So in the ER model, it is represented with some of the symbols. Like for when you're going to represent the entity, we are using a rectangle. When you're going to use some attributes, we are going to use some oval or ellipse symbols. And those symbol or those model are converted into relational database schema. So the relational database schema is nothing but it is a collection of collection of row and column. So we are converting a diagram into a table kind of a structure. And next one is a schema refinement to identify the potential problems and to refine it. So here we are going to normalize and restructuring the relation for further process. So building indexes on the table and clustering the tables, redesigning some of the schema obtained from earlier design steps. So we'll get some of the refinement and we are getting some logical design. So based on that, we are going to design a physical database. For the physical database, we are going to create indexes for those table, and we are clustering those table. What are all the tables related with the particular schema. So these are all the design steps we are going to follow to design entity relationship model. And finally, applications and the security. So for application, we are going to use a UML, and for the purpose of security, we are using some access rules to restrict the user access. And again, we'll go with the same definition. Entity relationship model that provides a meaning for representing the relationship between entities. So by using of these entity relationship model, we can visualize and understand the easy concepts. So here we are using some concepts like entity sets, entity, thing or object in the real world that is distinguishable from all other objects. So simply the entity is a real world object. So through the object from these objects we can distinguish from other objects. Example, person, car, house. So an entity has a set of properties, and the values for some properties may be uniquely identify an entity. So for example, when you're going for a student entity, the register number is an attribute. So through the register number, we can identify the remaining attributes very easily. An entity set is a collection of entities having the same properties. So the attributes, so attributes is a properties that describes an entity. So again, we go with the same example with a student. We'll have attributes like register number, student name, address, mail ID, phone number, parent details, that is like parent name, parent occupation, parent income. And so all these details are related with the student attributes. And so here we'll go with the different types of attributes. So here it is a simple attributes. An attribute cannot be divided into further subparts. So when you're going for a customer ID of the customer or a register number of the student identity, so these two attributes are not further divided. So that it is called a simple attributes. So the composite attributes, an attribute can be divided into set of subparts. For example, address can be divided into number, street, and city, and as well as the name can be differentiated or divided into first name, last name, and middle name. So these are all some possible attributes for a composite attributes. And single value attributes, attribute having only one value in a particular entity. And multi-valued attributes, the particular attribute has a more than one value. So that kind of attribute is called a multi-valued attribute. Suppose some of the users or some of the students have two mobile numbers. So the mobile number is one of multi-valued attributes, and some of the employees has completed had completed multiple degrees. So degrees are here with this example. Degrees are represented with double oval symbol. So that double oval symbol is a multi-valued attributes. So derived attributes, from attributes we may derive other related attributes is called entity. So through the age we may find, through the date of birth we may find the age. So through that birth date we can find the age. So it is a dotted ellipse. So when we represent the symbol dotted oval, so it is called as a derived attributes. So the relationship set, again, the relationship is nothing but an association among several entities. So a set of relations of the same type. So here customer borrow loan from a bank. Okay, so these are all the concepts are very, very basics when we are going with the entity relationship model. Okay, thank you.